Tour Down Under Stage 3, pretty hilly stage, maybe 50 riders left. This is the last climb, pretty much, before the finish. Now, the finish is the same as last year's Tour Down Under stage when it went up. 2.6 kilometers to go. This footage cuts out 1.7 kilometers to go, but I've got the footage from 1K, so we're going to miss about 700 meters, but nothing really happens in that time from what I can tell. So yeah, down this part here, you'll see it's sort of like there's just one last kick there. A couple sprinters been dropped, but Danny Van Poppel is there. Patrick Bevan's there. You can see Sagan, you can see Hessing, you can see Bennett, you can see Wout Poels. Pretty much everyone like you'd expect to be there is there, more or less. And Richie Port's on the right-hand side of there. You can see Lucas Posselberger as well in the Austrian national champions jersey. So this, at the moment, it wasn't raced too aggressively. Basically, you've got a combination, but Team Sky now go with Kenny Ellison, the absolute legend. I love Kenny so much. He does follow me on Instagram. Good lad. Anyway, Kenny goes mainly just to set up and make it a hard race for Wout Poels, because in reality, it's going to be very hard for sprinters to like get dropped on this climb unless it's raced incredibly fast. So basically, Kenny's trying to drag everyone out and make it really hard. So then, if Wout Poels can attack to get some bonus seconds, otherwise it's not going to happen. Now you can see Robert Hessing decides that it's time to go as well. Makes sense because Bennett's also in a good position to attack, and Hessing's probably stronger on the flat than Bennett, and also, I mean, Kenny, let's be honest, he's 52 kilos. It's going to be a tough one for him to make it go on the flat, because this is a pretty downhill run-in after this. So it now goes downhill, and then there's a little kick up, and that's where I guess everyone thought they were going to attack. And basically, there are about 50, 60 riders left. This is the last climb, and Michelin Scott on the front, just trying to set it up for Daryl Impey. Sagan's there, usual favourites on Norton Summit, but the finishing circuit is quite different. Anyway, so it was raced pretty aggressively, but not crazy. Maybe a minute and a half or something. I looked at Michael Wood's power, and it's pretty solid for that minute and a half. Kenny's looking aero, trying to get... I mean, he knows he's not going to be able to win this stage from here. Like, it's impossible because there's so many people who are fresh and like, just really want to bring it back. So you can see people are struggling at the back. And you can see it just now kicks up. Watch on the left-hand side, Kenny just explodes pretty much. And Mike Woods goes on the attack massively, hitting about 943 watts and held about 550 watts for a minute or so on Strava. You can see Sagan follows, Luis Leon Sanchez follows, Daryl Impey's in the wheel as well. Everyone else is basically following as well. But it's not really a long enough climb or steep enough climb. Posselberger looks back trying to see if Sagan's there. Paddy Bevan's coming across. Dries Devenines, you can see in the quick step, he's pretty far ahead. He now decides to launch it because they're messing around. But in reality, it was never going to happen. Mike Woods would get away just because it's just too fast on the downhill. Unless you had a 56 on the front and were really like riding full gas and the people behind were messing around. But it's such a fast run and it was just never really going to happen. But yeah, Mike Woods put in a good effort. I guess hurt the legs a little bit. But Danny Van Poppel managed to make it over. And then from here, in about 200 meters, we're going to skip to 1K to go because there is no footage, unfortunately. But anyway, they turned right onto Green Hill Road, and then the finish is in Uradla. It's up a hill, so it's sort of a down and up finish. They hit sort of 75, 80 k's an hour at the bottom, and then it slowly ramps up. So 1K to go. Michelin Scott on the front, Daryl Impey second wheel, Luis Leon Sanchez, Peter Sagan, Danny Van Poppel, Paddy Bevan, all there. We've also got Valgren, I believe, is in the mix. But in reality, Daryl Impey takes over super early and just sprints. And then Sagan comes past him pretty easy, to be honest. And Luis Leon Sanchez managed to get off just past. Paddy Bevan, Danny Van Poppel, all there or thereabouts. Jan Pollench, I believe, gets third. But Sagan takes that very, very easy. I mean, when you look at the highlights, it's a super, super fast sprint. And the draft on like 75k an hour sprint must be unbelievable. So yeah, that's why Daryl Impey let out too early. Sagan got it in the end, and Luis Leon Sanchez is looking solid as well. So yeah, so far I guess Sagan, Luis Leon Sanchez, Daryl Impey, they're all looking solid. Everyone else finished same time. James Knox, my boy, he finished in there. And Pogacar actually did finish top 10, the guy I made a video about the other day who won Tour de l'Avenir. So it's all looking good for Tour Down Under. Tomorrow's flat stage. No, tomorrow's corkscrew, then flat stage, then Wollonga. So yeah, it should be a pretty exciting end to Tour Down Under. So anyway, cheers for watching. Hope you did enjoy this bit, and I'll have another one tomorrow.